let's talk about two-start pitchers. Then we'll do our quick pitch segment, and then we'll get to your emails at dmfantasybaseball@cbs.com. Some of the studs that you're going to throw out there, I'm going to throw out these names, and you let me know if any of them are not must-starts. But Ubaldo Jimenez, Matt Garza, Roy Oswalt.
I got Garza a little less than a must-start. Garza hasn't been as good of late, but I would still run him out there. He's advisable.
Roy Oswalt, Justin Verlander. Any hesitation with Tim Lincecum?
No, you got to run Lincecum out there.
And Francisco Liriano, I like him at Seattle and at Oakland.
He's a must-start as well.
That could be a good week. All right, here are some of the more questionable guys. John Lackey, coming off a good start, versus Oakland at Baltimore. Good matchups.
Yeah, I think the matchups make you consider him advisable.
Javier Vasquez versus Baltimore at Toronto.
He had a good 2 starts and then got kind of roughed up a little in his last start, but that was against the Twins, and the Orioles aren't the Twins. I think just because he's facing the Orioles in his first start makes him worth the risk this week.
Jeremy Bonderman versus Cleveland at Kansas City.
He's been surprisingly good this year.
That
8 strikeouts per 9, and Cleveland and Kansas City are both bad.
Start him.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Joe Blanton at Atlanta versus San Diego.
He hasn't been good lately. I call him a questionable option. I can see the reason to use him with those matchups. Those teams aren't really offensively potent, and Phillies aren't going to stay down. They've been struggling at the plate. They'll heat up in the short future. So I can see a reason to start him, but you're taking a little bit of a risk. If you have other options, I'd probably go with him.
All right, Liriano had those good matchups at Seattle and at Oakland. Nick Blackburn has the same one, start or sit.
I think he's a must-start.
Must start.
Pitching well
Blackburn.
lately.
Yeah, he has been pitching very well.
To start him, you have to own him, though.
Yeah, 41% owned, 27% starting. I think you should pick him up and use him this week.
If you really need a 2-star pitcher, he's a good stopgap option, but I can't imagine myself wanting to cut somebody for him in my mixed leagues. He just doesn't have the ceiling that you need in those leagues.
Yeah, he could be a 15-game winner for that team, though.
Is that enough? I mean,
in a mixed league, 15 games is plenty enough. It wins the Cy Young for Tim Lincecum and Zach Greinke.
Yeah, but they got all the other stuff going for him. I don't know, because when he doesn't win a game, he's doing nothing for you, basically.
He's going 6 innings.
And probably giving up points leagues. 7 or 8 hits and 3 runs or
not
a lot more
that
than
many
that.
walks.
I don't know.
His whip isn't terrible because he doesn't walk people.
I think it cancels out the innings, particularly if he takes a loss.
P.J.
Walters. I will fight you, Scott White. I will fight you.
P.J. Walters versus Cincinnati and versus Milwaukee. Cardinals pitcher, what do you think?
I think he's a nice little sleeper. I think if you're in a deeper league you want a 2-start option, I would pick him up, give him a shot. Cardinals are a pretty good team. I think they can make him a winner. And he could stick around because Loesch looks like he might be done for the season. He's having this strange forearm surgery that's unknown to baseball.
Yeah.
So.
Even unknown to Dr. Emack.
Unknown.
Wow. Well, the last pitcher that I was going to ask you about is a guy whose name I can neither spell nor pronounce well. Hisanori Takahashi. At San Diego and against Florida at home. What do you think?
I consider him a advisable option in deeper leagues.
Okay. All that suspense. Advisable option.
I was looking at my paper.
Any other 2-star pitchers you guys want to talk about, or shall we move on?
Well, let's talk about the Nick Blackburn guy that he was poo-pooing. His past 5 starts, all quality, all victories, all the time.
All quality and all victory. Well, okay,
and
that's fine.
He's had 2
that's
starts
fine.
against the Yankees.
A quality start for a non-strikeout pitcher, though, just doesn't necessarily mean
with the victory.
What, do you give up 11 hits in one of those? 10 hit? Oh, that one's not a quality.
11 hits.
11,
9 innings,
9.
a complete game.
Yeah.
Ricky Nolasco or Nick Blackburn?
I'm not excited.
I would go Blackburn over Nolasco, but Nolasco's not pitching well. And I called Nolasco a questionable option. I would definitely not start.
You might have to
Nolasco
cut somebody like Nolasco.
Would you
to
cut
pick
Nolasco?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. And
but
you might have to.
Would you cut
the way you should
Wilson?
do it, you should have spots on your roster for good matchup 2-star pitchers. And Nick Blackburn is this week's guy.
What if you filled those roster spots already?
With what?
With guys like C.J. Wilson,
Would you cut
Colby
C.J. Wilson?
Lewis.
Yeah.
Would I cut Colby Lewis
C.J.
or C.J.
Wilson?
It depends on the size of the league. In a deeper league, I wouldn't because I think there's still value to be had with C.J. Wilson. But in a small league where guys like C.J. Wilson can be picked back up, yeah, I would just go with the 2-star pitchers with the good matchups and stream them in.
Yeah.
Quick pitch.
And Blackburn is the perfect streaming pitcher this week. He's perfect.